Hello, welcome to Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft. This is Richard. So, for Father's Day, which is coming up, it's not yet, but it's coming up, Michelle got me a gift. It came today, and she let me have it. She got me a lead melter. Yes, so I'm out here, and I'm going to start using it. I'm breaking this lead down into several categories. I have a category that doesn't have any markings. I have a category that has all sorts of letters that I don't know what they are. A lot of them say, well, I don't know if that's aluminum or not. ALMC. Anyway, I got some MC, some T, several different ones here. I've got some that's marked as zinc. I've got some that's marked with a P, and then I've got some marked FE. I'm just going to go ahead and here's one in particular. This one's marked zinc like that, so I'm going to put it in the zinc pile, and then if you can read that, FE, some sort of. And then they got some that aren't marked with anything. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start tossing the stuff that's possibly lead in there. And I'm guessing, I guess, as I was told, the zinc and steel or iron and stuff like that will stay up here, and we'll deal with that later. But let me plug this in, and let's get started. Alrighty. Bingo bango, and we will go with, well, it's either no or on, right? Right. Bam, it's on. Alright, so let's set that there. Now, we're going to let that heat up, and I'm going to go ahead and take a few of these pieces. We'll start with this, and we'll set them in here. And we'll let them get started, and when that starts to melt, I'll get right back with you. So as well, here's my other, I have my lead here. I have a container for all the crap that goes in here. This is where I'm going to put my water so that the lead will go back into a solid, and we will deal with all of that. And when that starts to, that's already heating up. Nice, you can see it smoking. I don't know if you can see it, but it's already heating up down there. And I'm just going to start continuing to separate, and we'll get back with you when some of this starts to melt. Alrighty, so we're starting to get melt. Get some meltage here. There you go. So I've got it all separated. Well, I got some of it separated. So we're going to start. There we go. So I'm assuming because these aren't melting. This must not be lead. So I'm gonna pull these out. I'm gonna drop a couple more pieces in. And we'll just continue to do this until we find out what'll work and what won't work. And there we go, there is a piece of lead right there. So we're going to go ahead and put that in our container and continue on. Alright, so the stack that I'm doing now are either unmarked or they have this word micro on them. And I've noticed that the ones that say micro are melting their lead. So if you can see here, let me show you. So this one says micro on it, and as you can see, it's melting. There you go. And this one here didn't have anything written on it, and it's not melting at all. Alrighty, so the ones that say micro and the ones that say MC, these also melt, so these are lead as well. So far the ones that aren't labeled are tending not to melt. I haven't tried the ones that said ALMC. I haven't got to the ones that's got the P. Of course, the iron or steel or whatever, the FE over here. I don't know about those yet. And the zinc ones I know will melt, but it takes about 800 degrees, I believe. And lead only takes around 600-700 degrees. So we'll see. Ooh, that water's hot. Alright, so it's filling up. Here's another big old huge chunk. It may not fit in there. Nope, it didn't want to fit in there. Anyway, we're going to start here real soon just melting all of this that's already been melted and put it into one big mold. I think I'm going to do that here soon. So let me get set up for that. I've got some pieces here I need to melt. But let's move those over here. And here is the mold that I'm going to put it all in. So I'm going to go ahead and let the 3 pieces I have in there melt. And when I get that done, we'll take all of the lead that I've already melted. We'll remelt it and we'll just put it in that mold and try to make a decent bar out of it. Alrighty, so there we go. So now I'm putting in the actual lead, and we're going to get it to melt completely. There shouldn't be so much crap in it. It should just be lead. We'll go ahead and get it all melted down. Start tossing in all these little pieces here and getting it melted into a liquid, and then we're going to try to pour it into this bigger mold and see what we can't do with it from there. Alright, so I'm throwing in, that doesn't look like that melted. I'm throwing in a bunch of okay, little pieces, and it doesn't look like as much when it melts down. There we go. So we're going to get all these little dinky pieces here all melted down, and I'll try to make one big piece. And when we get ready to pour that, I'll get back with you. Alright, so we're in the process of melting all of the lead that I have up to date. There's a big hunk that needs to be melted, but I was going to use this here to make one big one. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to use this one and make smaller versions of it, but I do have a complaint. I have a complaint about that crucible, about the about most products in general, but honestly, this thing is made for right-handed people, and I'm left-handed. The spout is backwards. So when I grab it with my left hand, I want to pour it this way, but the spout's on the other side. So if I grab it with my right hand, I can pour it properly. So it's designed for right-handed people. Yes, I know the majority of people are right-handed. So everybody was born right-handed. Just some of us overcome that. We'll put it that way. I'm in my right mind. So anyway, we're getting this lead melted pretty freaking good. It definitely, I don't think it looks like as much as it looks like when it's in the little chunks. But we're going to go ahead and put this piece in. This is the last piece I have, and it tended to bubble the last time pretty good. I think it was a little bit, maybe a little bit wet, or it had some moisture. I wouldn't say wet, but I think it had some moisture in it. So we're going to let this all melt down and back away from it. The last time it kind of bubbled up a little bit, but yeah, it's definitely got some moisture in it. We're going to get this all melted down, and then we're going to start making mold out of it, and when I get that done, we'll get the molds going. Alrighty, so what I do have is all in here, and it's melting. It's all melting. The top is a little more solid, and I don't know if that's caused by lack of heat up there, or whether this is not all lead, but it is melting, and I do believe that I will be able to get maybe one or two, maybe two of these. I don't know, maybe two. Definitely going to get one of them out of it. But we're going to let that try to melt as much as possible, because I really do want to get one pour in there, a complete pour, so that it doesn't. See if I skim across the top here. There we go. So that's lead too. So stop playing with it. Alrighty, so it seems like that the bottom part is liquid. The top part seems to be cooler because it's further away from the fire. Now I'm going to try to do this right-handed so that I can use the spout. And we're going to see if maybe we can get a decent pour out of this in here and get one good solid pour, and then get it in the water over there. Here we go. Yep. I need a little more. Well, that's not too bad. We're going to leave it there. We're going to let the rest of it melt and do another pour. Alright, we're getting there. I'm trying to melt this as much as possible. I don't know how much of that is trash and how much is lead, but it still keeps melting a little bit here and a little bit there. Try to get as much of that out as possible that'll melt. And I'm hoping that once I dip this in the water, that it'll come out in one piece and it won't be all broken up. But I'd like to leave it like this till I can fill it up and get one full round out of this, but I don't know if that's going to happen, at least with what I've got. But we'll continue to do it until I run out of the lead that I've got right now. Off camera, I'll start separating this lead. Eventually I'm going to find out whether this stuff that says P is lead or something else. I'm not sure, but we'll give it all a try eventually and find out what melts. Is the stuff that doesn't have any markings, this here that it doesn't have anything. That says MC over here, so this one should melt. There's a few of them that don't have any markings and they don't melt. Let me pull one out here. Oh, there we go. So this one here, I didn't find any markings or anything on it, and this one doesn't melt at all. So it's probably some sort of steel or something that's going to take a whole heck of a lot more than 600-700 degrees to melt, and I'm not interested in that. I'm just looking for the stuff that I can melt around 700 degrees. We'll see if the zinc will melt. I know it melts around 800 or something like that, but we'll see if I can't get the zinc to melt in this. and we'll find out some of the other stuff. But right now, for sure, the stuff that is not marked so far hasn't really melted at all. So we'll continue to melt what I can. So yeah, this is still melting pretty decently. Still getting some melted lead out of that. So let's get that back on there. So let's dump a little bit more of this on here. Boom. Just like that. And we'll get that back on there. Continue to melt it. A little bit here and a little bit there. Do you what now?
You've had enough playtime. It is time to get to work.
Yes, ma'am. All right, I'll be right in. All right.
My love.
Not a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this down for now. I'm going to leave my mess right here. I'll clean it up later. I don't know how much more this is going to melt and how much is just crap. It looks like, yeah, looks like some of it is kind of melting a little bit. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to leave that. I'm just going to leave it while I go in there and help Michelle. I'm going to let that continue to melt, and hopefully it will. And we'll dump the rest of it in there, and we'll see what we got at the end. But right now, we're going to take a break, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alrighty, here we are. It's a little warm. So I'm going to grab me a towel here. I got the lead in here. We're just going to dump it in this bucket. Oh, there it is. Alright, good. We'll let that sit a moment. Alright. Oh, that's heavy. And then here's our lead for now. That's everything that I've done so far. I'm going to count and find out how many wheel weights that this represents. But this is pretty freaking heavy, and there's a lot of them in here. So let's get this let's set this down here. Let's go ahead and count those up real quick, give you an estimate. Alright, so here's all the crap that wouldn't melt, that was just nastiness. And I broke these down into 10, 20, 30. It says like 38. So about 40, I'd say about 40 wheel weights. Again, they vary in size, so it's not an exact science. So we're going to say about 40 of them created this. And if I get a chance, I'll take this up to the dojo and I'll weigh it and see how much it weighs. But this is about 40, and it does not, 40 of them does not completely fill up this small iron skillet here, but it comes close. It comes close. So if you can see, there we go. And probably have another handful or a couple handfuls of them to kind of even it out. But so that's about 40. I'd say somewhere between maybe 50 or 60 of them would complete one, but this isn't too bad. I'm not complaining. So there we go. Let's say approximately 40 wheel weights, and we have this lead right here, and I'll eventually get more of these, but I've got all my stuff down here. I think I'm going to leave it out here so I don't have to keep running it in and out. The only thing I'm going to take inside is the actual lead and my melter. The rest of the stuff I think will stay out here, so don't, like I said, so I don't have to keep running it in and out. And I ain't worrying about someone coming up and stealing it. And if it happens, they wanted it more than I did. So there we go. So thank you guys for watching Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft, and enjoy the outdoors, even if it's just your own backyard.